1. Everybody, what's up? Welcome to another edition of ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams. And today, ladies edition. I got 3 of the ladies that took part in this past weekend's round robin. Left-handed. I love the left hand. Y'all should know that. All right. So I got Beth Dukes. I got Shauna Wagner. And congratulations is going out to Danielle because she went ahead and did what she had to do. Because as you all know, my motto for this year, show up and show out. And that's exactly what she did. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Jody. I hope you're doing good too.
I'm doing all right. I don't think I got enough sleep, but hey, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So first things first. I was excited about last year's round robin, and now we fast forward to this year. Beth, you were not a part of it last year. Tell me what your experience was over the weekend with the round robin.
Anything to do with arm wrestling, I love to be a part of it. I was excited to be able to come in this year. Newer people don't really know me yet, but I'm working on that. I've been around for a while, so I've seen a lot. I've traveled a lot. I've done a lot, but I had a little bit of time off, and now I'm finally getting back into the swing of things. I love the round robin format. I love it. Chuck and I, my brother, Chuck Westbury, we put on a tournament in June, and it's also round robin. I feel like if you're traveling that far, it sucks to go 0-2. I mean, you're coming to meet these people and to pull different hands and to get this experience. And I think in order to do that, round robin is the best way to do it. You're able to grip up with everybody that's there. You get to test yourself with everyone that's in your weight class. I just think that the round robin format is I think that's the way it should go with all tournaments.
I agree. Girls, what do you think about Beth's comments?
I love it. I agree with everything that Beth said there. If I'm going to travel that far, just to be able to touch, that many different hands, get that learning experience, I love it.
Yeah, there's nothing to disagree with there. You can't miss an opportunity to pull so many of your peers. It's so hard to do. And the round robin format really tells you a lot about yourself as an arm wrestler because it's exhausting. You touch every single arm that's in the room, and there were so many. You always walk away from that better because your training's going to change. You're going to find out, did I get pumped? Did this setup work for me? Oh, wow, this person beat this person, but they kicked my ass and I kicked that person's ass. And it really tells you about styles and things to work on. And it's so great. Just boom, boom, boom. Easy to learn.
Oh, don't worry, Beth. Here's the thing. And because we just heard, Beth Dukes, she's a beast. Yes, here's the thing. You said people don't know you. They should do their homework, all right?
Absolutely.
I know you.
I get that.
Hey, I know you, Beth Westbury. We're talking about multi-time national champion, okay? I know. Back when, you were just whooping ass,
I was a baby, yeah.
Yeah, and just lighting people up, So, yeah, I'm glad you're back in the sport. I know you took some time off, you look good now. And you know what? It's hey, let me show you girls what it was like when I was pulling. And things were different because, Beth, you should know, these platforms weren't around. It was either Arm TV with Gary Roberts or it was the Northeast Message Board, and that was it. You know what I'm talking about.
That was it. There was nothing. There was no other platform that you can. I don't even think YouTube was really a thing. I mean, Gary Roberts was like the beginning of all of that when it came to arm wrestling. But
we certainly weren't walking around with YouTube on our phones.
That is exactly right. Yeah, nothing compared to what it is now.
Right. So
that was one of the reasons, Beth, I'm really glad that Thomas Dearborn threw in that right hand. That was so kind of him because I really felt like you got an incredible moment to show what your right hand is made of. That was super cool.
Used my strong hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you were a train wreck. That was awesome. I love it.
So now, and here's the one thing I wish would have happened. I wish there were a lot of names that were missing, and had those ladies shown up, it would have been interesting to see how the dynamic would have been. Let's just say, the 154 class. Let's just say we kind of know the elephant in the room. Let's just say for this conversation, let's say Danielle made the 154. Okay, cool. There's that. Let's just say had Peyton Hickory made the, yeah, right. if Peyton Pickering from Canada made the trip, if Le'Aaron Wilson made the trip, right? And then with the 155 class, Beth and Shauna, you might be looking at Jolene Anderson, who wasn't there. Sarah Wilson wasn't there. Angie Rose wasn't there. And these ladies were originally on the actual roster when the first flyer came out. And
Michelle Dugan was on the left hand.
Dugan was on
there you go.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I know, life happens for everybody. There's something that could cause everybody to not show up. But when you can and you have the opportunity, absolutely jump on it.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And and the thing about, like you said, with the round robins, it's the opportunity to go, okay, I don't know when the next time I see this person.
Yeah.
So now's my chance to kind of, get in where I fit in and see what happens. So Shauna, you tell me, you were at last year's round robin. Compare it with this year's round robin. What was the difference?
Oh my goodness. So it's really interesting for me because walking into round robin last year, I was very new. I'm reading the names and I'm like, I am screwed. But I wanted to take that opportunity. I mean, that's how I looked at it. But then coming in this year, left is my favorite hand to pull with. I read the names and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of matches I could see going either way. And so that was really fun for me because I felt like I was in the mix this time versus being somebody that nobody knew at all. And so that was the difference for me.
Yeah.
Shauna, did you feel like after the last round robin that you kind of got out there a little more and then you show up at this round robin and come third and give number 1 and number 2 also a hard time? And that's kind of a cool, did it kind of set a little bit of a trajectory for you and getting known?
Yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to what Jody was saying and Beth was saying too, is look, when your chances are out there, go take them. I'm going to, drive down that 9 hours. I'm going to fly across country. If we're going to make this a thing and you're going to put your name out there, you're going to have to take some chances. I'm not afraid to lose. Certainly, I didn't know where I was going to end up in this mix, but I wanted to do well. And I felt overall like this year, I'm a much different puller than I was last year.
Yeah,
I would 100%.
Well, I like that. Speaking of last year, look who just said, hey, ladies. Hey. So would it be correct for me to say the queen of North America would be Jocelyn? Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
How could you argue?
Fair enough. And there's an elephant in the room. Do we want to touch base on this?
See, I don't know about this elephant. So yeah, I feel like let's touch base.
I'll say I in no way want to cause waves or disrespect or throw shade towards anyone. I'm willing to just talk surface facts if that would help. Yeah. But I don't want to say names, cast blame, or have anyone talked about negatively as a result of what I would say. And there's no hard feelings from my side. So whatever I'm going to say, I don't want anyone to go to battle for me, start shit online, nothing like that. Please and thank you.
Out of respect, Danielle, I get it. If you want to run with it, just go on the surface and then just kind of we'll go there.
Just the brass tacks of the situation. I was the first to weigh in. Weigh-ins had some unfortunate things. The official weigh-ins unfortunately got in a rollover car accident 15 minutes before they were going to be there. So that already kind of threw a monkey wrench into things. But we had some volunteers that were willing to help, which is phenomenal. And no shade towards them whatsoever. They did their job. I weighed in, fully clothed, got on the scale, 154.2. I was like, you're good to go. I double checked. I said, hey, should I just take off my shirt, take off my pants, be at or under that? Nope, you're good to go. So as the athlete, like, fantastic. We go get our pizza. We go drink our water. We're having a good time. And then here there was an athlete that contested that. And it became that the best situation, the easiest way to solve the problem was for me to pull up a class at 155. And I am happy to pull with anyone. I just didn't want to lose the opportunity to pull or have my integrity as an athlete in question. And it ended up being a great event. I had a wonderful day. I was lucky enough that I ended up going undefeated, which, you can't ask for a better result, right? But even no, because even if I hadn't, I would still be very happy. It was it ended up being a very fun time to pull. So that's just
okay. I didn't know any of that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought because of the car accident and all of that they had just bumped you up and they weren't sure if Brennan was going to be able to compete. And that was my understanding of it. So thanks for clearing all that up. I had no idea.
Of course. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
So another elephant that was in the room. Well, it probably doesn't affect you ladies because the situation was fixed by the time y'all started pulling. But did anybody know that the elbow pads were made for the right hand, even though it was a left-handed event?
The pin pads were shifted for right-hand pulling.
Yeah. And I'm like going, okay, like
in the 154s.
Yeah.
And maybe that might have been it because when we're watching it live, among other things, I think Beth, you even like told me you're like going, they're fixing it, it's muted or whatever. But there were times where you really couldn't see. And if the pads are the opposite way, then there's a reason why you can't see, So it's just, I'm glad it got fixed by the time you ladies went up there and your class did. So at least that was taken care of, which is good. I'm glad the sound got taken care of, which was good. I'm glad the camera got flipped over this way and not that way. And that was good too. And like I said, that was minor.
Right.
I'm glad there was no injuries. So let's put that out there. So I'm glad I didn't, have any issues with that. But yeah, it was just like a couple hiccups, no big deal. But I was wondering, if a 154 puller, did they understand that, hey, you're on the wrong side of the pad? I'm just wondering, did anybody else see that?
I don't think it was even mentioned.
I noticed it. It was maybe like halfway through the 154s. And then it's like, at that, that was kind of what do you do at that point when you're halfway through? When did it get changed? It got changed before ours.
It was before ours, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's difficult then too. You kind of run into the down refs. It's harder to see elbow fouls. Now it's hard to say now. Like, could that have changed any matches? I don't know, water under the bridge, but it's just one of those unfortunate things that you want something like this to have be as professional as possible. And, some things like that can sometimes leave a little mark.
I will say this, and I want all you girls to respond to this, and even anybody in the chat respond to it. I did appreciate what Ozzy did, bringing each lady on to kind of give them some spotlight. Hey, if we're trying to get this thing off the ground, I only say the reason why I say off the ground is because you ladies put just as much work as some of the guys do. So why not give you a platform? So kudos to Ozzy for giving all you ladies a platform for y'all to talk about, which is awesome. What do you think about that, Shauna? Then we'll go with Beth and Danielle on that.
No, I think it was great. I mean, again, take your chances when you get them. A lot of these ladies have never pulled in a round robin. Maybe they've never even been on a podcast before. I haven't been on too many either. So the fact that he got up there, called each one by name, asked them questions, and they could showcase themselves who they were. I don't even know how many people actually watched, and they could still go back and watch and be like, oh, who's that person? It's just a great way to get yourself out there. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. I mean, I think, like you had said, I've been in the sport for so long, but I was out for a while. And so there are new names to me and new titles and new all of the things. And so it was nice to get a little baby bio on everybody before we got up there and, tried to break each other's arms.
Jake Ward, the Aussie arm wrestler, he adds a level of professionalism and entertainment and intrigue to any event that he's a part of. He's so good at what he does. Everyone knows, if you've heard him, you Dead Set Legends. You're gonna hear it, you're gonna love it, and he's really good at highlighting, spotlighting people, moving things along, and keeping viewers entertained, as well as knowing a lot about the sport himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, I got to put this in there. So Jake will be at Arizona State. So for those that are going to Arizona State. I see some people perking up in the show, so that tells me somebody's going to Arizona State. June 7th, people. June 7th, Arizona State. Check out Arm Sports Entertainment. They got the flyer out, so check them out. Yes.
Shauna just convinced me, guys. I'm going. I'll be at Arizona State. We're going.
Yep, we're going.
Oh, nice.
Come on, Beth. Let's go.
I have my tournament June 14th, the next weekend. Round robin. Come on.
Hey, back to back. I mean, and then my
Back to
tournament is
back,
June
that's
20.
right.
And my tournament is June 21st. So there you go. So it's like, There you
Come
go.
on.
Yes, I like it. So, in seeing the whole event, and we talked about how last year we saw round robin where we saw earth-shattering news, where we saw Jocelyn beat Sarah, and it was like going. Because at that point, going into that match, I think the whole world kind of knew that, Sarah's going to walk away in this class, and it didn't happen. So that kind of brought up some rumblings. And, of course, Jocelyn goes the following weekend, wins 3-0 against Heidi Cordner. Now she's on the throne. There you go. And now her rocket ship went up. And it all started from the round robin. Now, going forward, ladies, you tell me, was there a match that you saw this past weekend or a match that probably didn't happen, and you kind of going, maybe this should be a one-on-one match down the road? Is there a match? Beth, you start first. Was there a match out there that you saw that might be a match down the road that could be a good one-on-one match?
I feel like for myself personally, I think me and Stephanie, I really want to pull her again. My left hand is not anywhere near where my right hand is. But I have some medical things going on with it. But hopefully when I get all that cleared, I'd really like to get a chance to pull her again left-handed.
Hey, and I'm sure some way, somehow, somebody can make that happen. Who knows? Maybe y'all can meet, I don't know, halfway, maybe Texas. I don't know. Something like that. You never know.
You never know.
Danielle, what do you think? Was there a match that you saw that you kind of went, or even scratch your head, and maybe that could be a match down the road?
So obviously I could not predict what Beth has said. So I am not trying to anyway steal that, take that, whatever. I was kind of thinking actually Shauna and Stephanie as well could be interesting, but I'm not trying to steal the thunder there. But I'm trying to think too if there's any like 154 matches that because I know I would like to see Bethany Ritchie out there even more.
Yeah.
I feel like she just did that weight cut for nationals. She was down to 138. And she ate and fed up to like 145 for this, but she's like super lean right now. And I think that opens up some more interesting matches too in lighter classes. And whenever you cut a lot of weight, you always have this little moment of adjusting to a new body weight. And I know for sure that she's doing the work. And I think it'd be interesting to see her with what were some of her interesting matches? Like
her with Lucky.
Her with Lucky.
It was amazing. That was an amazing match.
That wasn't. Thank you. I knew there was something that there was a match she had that stood out. That was it.
It did back and forth. It was great.
It was and I didn't predict that at all.
No.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm gonna say two things, and I'll let you go, Shauna. Like, as far as Lucky goes, if you don't get the right correct lane, she has a sticky point where it's not as easy as you may think.
Yeah.
And if she can get a bite on that and kind of wear somebody out, once she gets behind that, she can cause problems. As far as Stephanie Spencer goes, you have a person who's a lot stronger in the strap, where I think people kind of underestimate her strength. So from that standpoint, I'm thinking, okay, if she slips, okay, here we go. You get into a strap. She's one of those pullers where she's a whole different puller in a strap than she is out of strap.
I was very impressed with her left-hand strap strength.
And she even said that before we started. She was like, I want to start off every match in the straps.
Yeah, that's where she wants to be. She's comfortable there, and she's good there. She's very strong in the strap.
Yeah, very strong.
Extremely.
Yeah. So, Shauna, you tell me, what's a match that you saw this past weekend that you might want to see down the road?
Yeah, and that was the one that was in my head, was the Lucky Bethany match. Again, it's not what I predicted. And as it started, I didn't see the very beginning of it and turned around and I'm like, oh, here we go. I would really like to see that rematch because it is interesting because we talk about, Bethany has dropped some weight, but let's talk about Lucky. I mean, she's made an amazing transformation. She's relearning really how to arm wrestle and she's putting all this time into it. And if you look at her last year at the round robin, even versus this year, I mean, she's her whole dynamic has changed.
Oh yeah.
So that I would really like to see that match again.
Well, here's the thing with Lucky, because last year she was in the 155 class, correct? I
Yes.
believe.
Right?
So when you drop a whole weight class down, she lost a lot of weight. So kudos to her.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
now,
Killed it.
when you lose that much weight, your body has to adapt to it. Your
Yes.
workouts have to adapt to it, which means even though you lost all that weight, you're not going to sit there and just crush the whole world
No.
first term and out at that new weight.
Some of that strength needs rebuilding, 100%.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Part of it.
Absolutely.
Because even you can say what you want, and and this goes for guys too. When you lose that much weight, like Lucky did, you're going to lose some power to it. So
Right.
now, like you said, Dave, she has to readjust. Now I got to go. Okay, now I got to get these workouts. I got to readjust myself.
Yeah.
Because now, like if I were to drop a weight class, okay, now a couple things is good. One, it's going to give me new challenges with new challengers, and now it's like, okay, maybe I have to alter my workout now because now I don't have to use all that strength and body weight that I had before. That's not there anymore. So now you may have to be more technical. I don't know, but that's just how I see things. I could be wrong.
No,
Do y'all agree or not?
Well,
No, you hit
actually,
it on the
you're
head.
absolutely right. And speaking of technical, that was something I walked away with thinking about Lucky in particular, that when she got a match to stop, the way that she moved was actually really very, very well done. She looked like she looked like an arm wrestler.
Yeah.
Right.
Very methodical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pressure's in
Now,
the right place. It was cool to see.
but we're talking 1 year too. So now you take last year and go, okay, if I want to be taken seriously, I got to dial everything in. I got to get my workouts and I got to go compete more. I wish, honestly, in my opinion, I wish she'd get out more, like as far as challenge herself, because I always thought, and you girls may, think different, but I always thought to really challenge yourself in this sport in any way, you either have to travel outside your comfort zone, which means maybe your state, region, or whatever, and go compete elsewhere, or just say, hey, I want to pull somebody that's not in earshot distance and challenge myself. If I lose, then guess what? I know I got to go back to the drawing board. I got to go back to the lab. I got to readjust what I got to do, calibrate stuff, whatever the case may be, and fix that. And I wish she would do that more, but that's something she would have to do. But again, like Beth said earlier, people got lives too, so we don't know what goes on over there. She may be a busy person. Now, come summertime, I don't think she's teaching, so maybe we might see her more. Who knows? But yeah, her name's come up. Yeah, so if you see a Bethany versus Lucky, that might be a match worth throwing out and shotting out people. You never know. So but now the question goes to you three, and we'll go with the champ first on this one. Now that it's all said and done, you whooped everyone's ass in cowboy boots and all. Okay. So let me ask you this. Is there some particular woman down the road that you might want to face? Because you might sit there and go, what if? We hate the what if game, right?
Right.
Man, if I didn't blow up the first match, or man, if I was a little bit healthier. We all know the scenario because we've all been there at one point or another. So Danielle, I'm gonna have you kick it off first. Is there someone out there?
Shauna actually brought someone to my attention after she was in Vegas about a month ago. And she was like, hey, Danielle, do you know about Patrina Brooks? And I did a little research and I was like, oh, she's got some serious pedigree there. I've never arm wrestled her before, but I'm definitely interested if she is. I've never met her personally. So I just thought she looked like a really good arm wrestler. And so it'd be an interesting poll, I think. I also, Angela Rose, I love her to death. She's always kicked my ass so far. But I know I've also been working really hard. We're similarly sized athletes. I would be honored to, if anyone, if there was ever that opportunity to have a match with her as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, we know what Candy Passmore thinks. As a fan, she'd love to see Danielle versus Liz. There you go. And as a bonus, I'm gonna give y'all my opinion. I got one for all three of y'all, but we'll get there in a second. Miss Beth, you are up. Is there anybody out there you would love to face one-on-one just to see? And I know people say Stephanie, but is there anybody else?
I've been around a while, and so there's some girls that have come and gone with me. Some have fallen off and come back at around the same time I did. So honestly, Merlene is someone I would love to work with. I love her.
I love it.
It's a spicy quesadilla. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This is okay. So I'm getting excited because this is where it's like all these dream matches, right?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Now can you imagine if all these ladies showed up and go, oh damn. Can you imagine that though? Man.
And this
The
is
magic.
so coming from someone who's been in this for a while. The biggest tournament I ever pulled in was at a nationals, and there was 12 women, and I was blown away that there was that many women there. So this past weekend, when 20 women show up for a tournament pulling against each other, it's phenomenal. Like that's unheard of over the past 20 years. So it's amazing. It was wonderful for the sport.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Everybody mark that down. Hey, Jocelyn, you writing this down? Mark that down. Miss Wagner, what we got? What you got? Tell us.
Oh goodness, it's interesting considering I'm of everyone here. I've been in the sport the least longest, but I respect this woman. I've never met her, but I would really love a shot at Michelle Dugan.
Oh yeah,
left-handed, love it, would
Amazing.
love it because I love left hand.
Hey.
So yeah.
And don't worry, Scott Evans. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Well, y'all girls want to know what I think, who I think y'all should match up with. This is my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go with Shauna first. Shauna, a match I would like to see you pull is a woman that used to live in Arizona, is now living in the Midwest. Her name is Paige Williams.
oh yeah.
Do you know Paige Williams?
Oh yeah, we've pulled. Yep.
Love
Have
Paige.
y'all pulled a match before?
Oh yeah.
How'd it go? Like super match or just like a tournament?
We've done in the tournament. So she beat me right-handed, but I beat her left-handed.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that at
It was like
Michigan? Was that at Michigan
It was
State?
in Michigan State. Yep.
Yeah.
last year. Yep.
However, a
Okay.
super match could make that. I still think a super
Yeah,
match would
that
actually be
makes
interesting because you get that
Okay.
tournament because like you won and I convincingly at Michigan State.
Yes.
Sometimes super matches can be interesting
little-
because you never know how your opponent decides. I'm gonna do something totally different this time.
I
guess it'll be
would
interesting.
100% be in for that. Let's go.
Yeah.
Have you
All
also
right.
have you pulled Camille left, Shauna?
Camille.
Uh,
Palmer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was she at Arizona State? Okay.
She was in Vegas. Yes.
Vegas, that's what I meant. Vegas, yeah.
Yep.
Did you win that match? I think you did.
I did.
Okay.
Well, Miss Beth, you and I go way back, and I got two people for you.
Okay.
I got two. You ready for this one?
Okay. Let's hear it.
I would love to see you, and I know you said your left hand is not your dominant hand,
It's not.
but
it's
are you
okay.
still willing to? Are you still willing to pull it though?
Obviously, I just did the round round.
Okay. So the first match I love to see you pull because one's left, one's right.
Okay.
Left hand, I would love to see you match up with Sarah Wilson out of Canada.
I've heard. So I actually spoke with Sarah Beckman about Sarah Wilson whenever she was still in the round robin, and she was like, "I think you and her are gonna have a really good match." So
Right.
that's interesting. Yeah.
And even more now because she couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
now for the right hand,
Yeah.
I gotta take a sip of water on this one because man,
Ooh, I can't wait.
oh man, wouldn't it be nice? Can y'all see this? Hey, Tim Thomas is in the chat, by the way.
Sure is.
Wouldn't it be cool if we saw a Beth Dukes right-handed versus Jolene Anderson out of Utah?
Oh, so
That's a
Jill
great-
and I met
Ooh.
in 2008, I think it was,
Mhm.
at Worlds. Might have been 2007. We went to Worlds together, but she was in the teen class because she's a baby too. And
Right.
so, yeah, I met her then and never pulled her, obviously. But yeah, big respect for Jolene. We've actually tried to get her to come down to our tournament here. She was going to try and come last year because her family was going to Disney and it didn't end up working. But yeah, I think that'd be an awesome match too.
I really like that match.
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
be down with it.
I don't know how I would even predict it. That's cool. That would just be awesome. I feel like. Yeah.
So she'll be there. Apparently, Camille's going to be there. You know, there you go, Camille. Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going.
Let's see here, Danielle.
Yeah.
Well.
You're
If
looking
I
at
was a
trouble on your mind.
if I was a promoter, right?
Yeah.
If I was a promoter over the weekend, you know what I would have done? I would have said, okay, how about the champ of the 154 class and the champ of the 155 class have it out? Why not?
I said it.
I mean, why not, right?
I think we all said it at one point.
I'll say
Yeah.
if someone wants to set that up,
The queen of the table.
I'm eager to pull. So,
Or to offset that, if that couldn't make it, then I would say, how about this? How about if we had a you versus Sarah Ray?
yeah, you know what? I would also take that match. I'll say, to be fair, we did have a 2 out of 3 right hand this weekend. Now, I did win that both rounds. However, I wouldn't want to take Sarah Ray's answer from her, because if she wants that match, I'm also happy to accept.
Right. Now, going forward, do you plan on still being around the 154-ish class? Because word on the street is now, after Jocelyn's match with Sarah Bachman, and Bachman's like, yeah, I might go down a weight class. And like I said before, when you go down in weight classes, it offers a lot of opportunities. So now with Sarah
I'm
coming
going to say, please come on down, because the better the class gets, the better everyone gets.
Amen.
Let's make it interesting. If that's what Sarah wants to do, I'm happy for it. Come mess things up. Let's go. We'll rise to the occasion.
That's what I'm talking about. And, I'm glad you brought that up. I am so glad. Can I be completely honest right now?
Please.
Because what I'm about to say about this 154 class, and this is where I want Shauna and I want Beth to chime in, everybody in the chat chime in. Let's just say Sarah comes down to the 154 class. Sarah, Liz, Danielle, Marlene, Nadia, even Leanne can mix it up if she really wanted to.
It's fire.
Can you imagine just the different scenario matches you can have? Can you imagine that?
I pay for that pay-per-view.
100%.
So go ahead. No, tell me what's on your mind. Go ahead, Beth. Run with it.
No, I'm totally down with it. It would get Sarah out of my class. Love her. But no, I think that'd be amazing. All of those powerhouses in the same weight class. I think that'd be epic.
That would be the ultimate opportunity to just what a brutal meat grinder that would be. Respectfully, I get so excited just thinking about something like that occurring. I mean, you would know, whoever came out of that could say quite certainly North American 154 champ.
Absolutely.
And hey,
oh my
throw
God.
Throw Sarah in there also. Throw her in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
See what happens. You know. Shauna, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, when you sit there and you name all those names, and we can sit here and we can try to predict that all we want. But when you get into, all those ladies in one room, you really have to start thinking about endurance and who has that, because that's a whole different test at that point. And that's the first thing my mind went to.
Yeah.
So I mean, that just sounds like fire to me. That's amazing.
Hey, let's get the word out there, shall we? Man, we got 14 people watching in the chat. Hey, what's up, y'all? Don't forget, hit that like button, by the way, subscribe and all that kind of good stuff.
That's right.
Now, with the 155 class, I mean, because now it's like, okay, do you think it's more of just a power thing? Because I know it's more of a technique and speed thing,
Yeah.
Now, with Beth, with Leah Hennessy, Stephanie Spencer, Wagner, hell, I can even throw another name up there. I would love to see somebody pull. I'd rather see if Beth Dukes and Shauna Wagner. What if I threw Katie Marie up there?
Shauna
Does that make you scratch Katie Marie? Make you scratch your head, don't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because I've never pulled. I mean, yeah, I think that's great.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I'll pull anybody.
That could be a fun match.
And I'll put another Katie in there. Oregon's Katie Hankey. I'll throw her in there. And see what she was supposed to be in there.
That's
and
right.
She didn't make it.
Yeah.
So again, another lady that was going to be in the round robin that didn't make it. And like I said, had everybody showing up on that original list, woo, man. Just like y'all said, had you won that, whoever wins that earned every bit of that.
Undoubtedly, hands down. Couldn't deny it.
So tell me something, Beth. Your round robin's coming up. You say June 14th?
Yep, June 14th. We've got from kids to grandmasters. June 14th here in Jacksonville. Round robin, ladies and kids and teens enter free, but everybody gets cash prizes. So this is actually Chuck's been putting this tournament on. This is the 8th year, and it has, I think, for like the last 4 years, has been the biggest tournament in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Hey.
the last 4
That's
years.
awesome.
It's amazing. It's a great tournament. Venue is like literally a mile away from the airport, so, and it's right next to a strip mall that's got everything you could ever want, and it's in Florida, and we have the beach and Disney. Just bring the family out and make a whole week out of it. Go on vacation.
And
Oh,
often
I'm
because
going
of
on
that,
vacation to Florida.
and flights to Florida usually aren't that bad because it's so popular. So.
Right, exactly.
Hey, I ain't got time for no gators roaming around the streets, man. I ain't got time for that.
They only mess with you if you mess with them. Don't be a sissy.
Yeah, I ain't testing that theory. No, ma'am. I am not going to test that.
Yeah, go ahead, splash in the
That's
pond.
exactly right. You know that there's a gator in it.
Yeah, you know, Beth already told me she ain't coming to the Arctic North. She already told me she ain't doing it.
No,
So
I can't.
we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go to Florida.
I was freezing this weekend and it was 60 degrees. We don't do that.
So, who else confirmed for the round robin on June 14th?
Well, you know, we had a few that were confirmed. Sarah was confirmed, but she has injured herself. But we've got a bunch of big names. This is the biggest one in the Southeast lately, and so you know we have a lot of guys coming. I might pull. I don't know yet. I help do brackets and all of that fun stuff. So if the opportunity presents itself, I definitely will. But we've got some old school names. We've got some people that show up just because. I mean, we've got people that have been on the Jacksonville team for 20 years. Some of the people that were the original team people that started it up, Greg Helm and Chuck, obviously. And so all of our team, the Jacksonville team, we have at least 50 deep on a good day. And so all of our guys will be there.
Wow.
So it's a good
Is
tournament.
Daniel Worley going to be there?
Daniel Worley, he better be there.
Hey, my man.
Carl Stanley. We got some world champions, some national champions.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So Candy Passmore says, Beth, will you be at Jacksonville tournament May something, maybe the 17th to 24th?
Yeah, May something. It's May. The Jacksonville tournament is June 14th, not May, June 14th. And I think that Candy, if you reach out to Chuck, I think that he's got something set up for y'all already. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Miss Wagner, talk to me. What you got coming up?
Oh goodness. I think my next one now is going to be Arizona State. That's on the list.
Women pull for free, by the way, at Arm Sports Entertainment. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be doing that. Michigan State's on the docket. I like to go in the Midwest with Ryan Johnson's events down that way. So Nebraska State's, I don't know what the date is, but so yeah, I'll be bouncing around. I tend to travel. I want to travel more. I want to pull different arms. And so that's what I'm looking forward for 2025.
Nice.
What better way to come up to Washington in December?
Hey,
why not?
I mean, I might.
Ew.
No. Don't give me this ew. Hey, if we got to go out there, right? Hey, I'll be in Florida.
Okay, listen, come to
in
Jacksonville
August.
and I'll go to Washington. Deal.
Is there
I'll
any
be in
state
Florida
that gets
in
more
August.
snow?
We're going on vacation. Washington's too wet for snow, but
Okay.
it can snow, but most likely it won't. But it'll be cold though. But yeah, I mean, because I'll say this about Arm Sports Entertainment. Tim Talmadge, he will get the people to his event. If you know nothing, know this. Aside from the ladies pulling for free, he will have the ladies from Sweden roll up there. Hint, right? He'll have, for you guys out there, you know Tim, he'll get the people from Australia. Hint. You know what I'm saying? So he'll make it happen. He's done it at Arizona State. He'll do it at Washington State. So rest assured, hey,
he's someone to support and go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Chuck just gave me all the names. There you go.
There you go. Artem, Austin Wade, the Passmores, Doug Allen. Oh, so if Doug Allen's going, Bethy's going to be there.
Exactly. Yeah, Bethany will be there.
Yes, Worley, Pappy, the whole group. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just to go ahead and say that, hey, Chuck wants to date. I know we're coming. Just need to write it down. Yes, Candy, write that stuff down. But teens, kids, and women, all free. So again, where can you go wrong with that?
That's right.
Now, here's the deal.
And teens have national champions in those classes right now too.
See?
There's nowhere to hide.
I've always asked this question before, but I need to ask all three of y'all because I got you guys on here. So when you have somebody like a Chuck Westbury, hey, ladies pull for free. Tim Tomash, Arm Sports Entertainment, women pull for free. You would think that, okay, hey, don't worry about the registration fee. Y'all can pull for free.
Yep.
How does that look to y'all? Because you would think that right there would trigger people. Oh, let's just go ahead. We'll worry about the hotel. We can, get a couple girls, maybe 2 or 3. Hey, we'll get an airfare. We'll split the hotel 3 ways or whatever the case may be. Could we get the pool for free? Is that still a thing now?
Absolutely. I mean, anything for free is a big incentive. And especially with this tournament, not only do they pull for free, but they still get cash prizes. So you're not putting any money up and you're still walking away with something.
And I think what it helps with even more isn't necessarily the fact that you're so glad you saved $20, but the fact that it shows the investment that the organization that you're taking a part of is taking extra special care to try to grow and make bigger women's arm wrestling, which is obviously like a much smaller chunk of arm wrestlers from arm wrestling as a whole. So it shows that you want to take part in something that's trying to bring up more people into female arm wrestling. And I think that's really the big thing when you see that, like, oh, women sign up is free. It's like not so much like, oh, I'm going to save $20. Hell yeah. It's just like they are really supportive and I want to give back by making sure that's where I'm at.
Danielle, I would echo that too. And I think the other thing that I look at is when I see that, what I hope it does is it incentivize, like to bring in more women. So I'm hoping that instead of, I flew, 5 hours for 2 women, that actually brings in more women where I may see 8 to 10.
Sure.
Yeah. You want to invest back in people that are already investing in you. And that's a very good way to show it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people like Chuck, I mean, like he's always been, he's my big brother, but he's always been our coach and our number one fan. And his daughters arm wrestle. Both of my nieces were world champions at 13 and 15. So he knows all about the women's side of the sport. He knows how hard it is for women to get a spotlight like this and to be able to have these round robins where it's devoted just to the women. So I think it's amazing that there's promoters out there that are really trying to boost the women's side of the sport, just like you've done too also.
You all see that comment? If this ain't the one that rings true, support who supports you.
Yep.
That's right.
Now, you can take that comment. It can mean a plethora of things, but I'm telling you right now, that right there kind of rings true. And, whoever supports you, support them. And, it's kind of like that one hand washes the other kind of scenario. And I like that. Mm-hmm. Now, let's get deep because we're talking about, what do y'all want out of this sport? Like, is it national, titles, which I know some of y'all got, world titles and whatnot, and Beth, we'll start with you first because, you got all the accolades on the screen right here. So you tell, what don't you have yet that you would like?
I just want more of what I've already got. No, really.
Great answer.
Honestly, for me right now, and I know that this is showing my age, I want to train my kids. I want my kids to be involved with this. I've said it before. This is a generational thing for our family, and my kids are in it now. And so, they both are nationally ranked. They're both state ranked. And I think that that's a big deal for me. And maybe it's because I am the age that I'm at now, that I've won all the titles. And so now I think it's a big deal for me to continue to grow the sport. And the only way you're going to grow the sport is if you're starting with the little ones and bringing them up in the sport. And so when I do travel, I like to bring one child, not both, because I would pull my hair out. I like to bring at least one child with me. So my daughter was with us because it was a girls' thing this past weekend. My daughter came to the round robin and she literally called out every woman there afterwards and arm wrestled everybody. And she's 7, that's
she
what you do.
Freaking great.
And she growls and kind of makes noises. And so, but that's what's important to me right now. I mean, growing the sport in my head is bringing up the next generation of not just children, but women, because that's what I've done. That's what I do, and that's where I'm at with it right now.
And my next question, this is for all three of y'all, because I think what I'm about to say now may help out some more ladies in the sport. So, Beth, tell everybody how many national titles you got. If you got world titles, how many do you have? Go ahead.
So I started competing in 2001, and 2 weeks ago at the IAF, I got my 23rd national title, and that's combining all of the USAA and AAA and all of that. So all together, I have 23 national titles. I placed top 10 in the world 4 times, and I have 1 world title from 2007.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I think now once, and if I'm being, delusional, by all means, call me out on it. Because this is what I see. Because when I first came into the sport, and I saw these guys here with these, accolades, and I want to kind of pick their brain, that kind of stuff. Is it the same with the ladies? So when Beth walks up, 23-time national champion, and got 1 world title, all of a sudden you're recognizable. It's like, oh, there's Beth. Hey, Beth, how you doing? That kind of stuff. And now you're giving off advice because, like you said, now you're giving back. You're teaching your kids. And now when they see you as a legend as it is, then they kind of want to sit there and they want to sit there and talk about training stuff. Yeah. They want to sit there and go, tell us how it was when you pulled A, B, C, and D. And then now it's going to be X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Do you think that might, help the ladies a little bit now when you got these national champions showing up, do you think that might help?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that if there's people that I don't know, I'm a very social butterfly. And so even this weekend, I've never met Shauna. I've never met half the girls that were there, and I'm a hugger, and I go up to them and I'm Beth, and I give you a hug. And then go from there. Where have you pulled? How long have you been pulling? What do you do to train? What's your favorite thing to do to train? Because there's things, of course, I still don't know. Me and my brother were just practicing a new strap move last weekend. So there's always something to learn. I mean, nobody, unless you're a training partner, nobody trains the same. And so it's fun to figir out Duke's, man. He's so cute.
I love it.
I don't even know what that means, but I thought it was funny, so I had to put it up there.
It's a brand.
It's a brand of mayonnaise.
It is.
And it's fabulous.
And it's fabulous. That's right. Not the on everything.
So, Danielle, tell the round table, tell everybody out there, accolades, state titles. Now, and Beth, you probably got like 44 state titles, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But
I've never been to a Worlds yet. That's definitely on my bucket list. For sure, I'd love to. I want to have that opportunity at some point. But I have 2 national titles. I guess it's 4 because it was both arms, both times that I went. That was 78 kilo class. Let's see. I've been to MAC events. I've been in Monster Factory events. I've been at Knuckles Up, and it would take me a while to figure out how many state titles, but. I started in right when COVID hit. So it was March 2020. I started a hand-holding sport.
and when I see ladies like you, Stephanie Spencer, coming to the sport, but you got a different background, and Shauna too. You got that powerlifting / strongman background, and you kind of go, okay, well, guess what? I know I got the power. I got the base to get this stuff done. Now all I got to do is go ahead and just, narrow down the technique of the sport. So it's always good to have these cross sports athletes come into our sport and vice versa. So I like that. But again, Danielle, you've been killing it. We all see your Instagram, videos and stuff like that. So now this goes back to what I was talking about when Ozzy had all y'all on there one by one. And now people who just heard about you, now they can, hey, instead of the name on the face, now I get to put the voice with the face and the name. And that plays a lot, that kind of thing. Absolutely. Shauna, same thing to you. How do you feel? I mean, what's your accolades? Because you come from a powerlifting background, yes?
I don't actually. I started with arm wrestling first, and Danielle talked me into it, and I love it. I love it. So, I mean, I think most people know that Danielle and I train.
Shauna's a natural.
Training together. But yeah, this is only my third year in arm wrestling. I have a couple state titles. I've not been to a Worlds. I did go to the Nationals in Vegas, and I performed, I thought, pretty well. What I really want to do with the sport, I'm still learning how to climb the ladder. But what I want is it's kind of what Beth was saying, as well as one thing that's important to me is to ensure that, the new women that are getting into it, talk to them, be their friends. If you see me at a tournament, I try to be the happiest person out there. I love talking to people. I love this sport. And I think we never know why people necessarily do the sport. If you are trying to get titles, maybe it's for mental health reasons. It could be a lot of things. And I think about that. So as women come in, I just want to help them. And then if that continuously pushes me to grow, I love that too.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I like that, and again, I think it's going to help. Yeah, go get some bison in November. There you go. See that?
Okay.
Do we know if we're having another round robin next year with this version right here?
I haven't heard, but I'd be down.
I'd be in, but I haven't heard either.
Okay, because we did the right hand last year. We did the left hand over the weekend. So now you kind of go, okay, so what's next?
There's discussions, but nothing that can be yet said out loud, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, because
but I think what everybody does understand and would agree with is that there does need to be a greater level of a little bit of fresh breath breathed into this event for it to survive. Yeah. And that has been recognized. So hopefully something will come from that.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see it go away. It's just, what are the next steps?
Mm-hmm.
Just revamped, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an idea. I mean, so if you're going to say queen of the table, do it like this. Have about 8 or 9 super matches, just the ladies. And like I said, I got a lot of free time on my hand before I go to work. And so I think of a lot of stuff like this. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously you have to have the right promoter to do it. Got to have the right location where it's feasible for everybody. But, what would one think if someone were to say, hey, somebody reach out to y'all? We'll do a women's only super match card. Now, I know a few people that can probably go, and I can talk to them and see what's up. Now, what will y'all think about that? I mean, seriously, think about it. Women's only super match card.
Yeah.
So I might be biased, but I love watching women's super matches. I have some theories as to why that is, outside of just being a woman and wanting to look at my own peers. But I find, so I don't think it's crazy to say that we know men tend to be stronger than women are. And I think that actually changes the way, in general, speaking, only in generalizations here, that men and women tend to arm wrestle. And I think you see a lot of technical arm wrestling out of high-level female matches, and I really enjoy seeing that.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, let's be real. I mean, from a technical, and that's why I enjoy it. Because, I mean, I know for a fact, y'all ladies is giving y'all all. Your hair is flying, you're fucking screaming and that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you right now, that's exciting to me. But if somebody were to, sit there and start reaching out to y'all and be like, hey, putting together this super match card, would you ladies be interested? So, Shauna, if somebody would have came to you and said that, would you be okay with that? Like a all women's, no guys. I mean, yeah, if the guys are going to be referees, I got that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good referee is a good referee.
Yeah, but all women's only super match card. What do you think, Shauna? You go first.
I think it's genius, honestly. And I think that, and again, broad generalization here, but for me, I am much more interested in watching women arm wrestling than men. Not because I don't want to watch the men, but kind of like Danielle was saying, I want to watch someone that's about my strength, pick things up, get more technical, and I'm going to find more from a woman than I am a guy. So an all women's super match card. Are you kidding? Sign me up today.
I'd buy that. I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
For that card, even if I was participating in it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Because I mean, if we did that, you know, and that was a go, what I would do to help out, get this thing out there and promote it, kind of like what Ingen does with his guys, you know, have the both competitors going, have them on the show. I'd be like, hey, let's do this. I'll have, you know, let's just say if it was Jolie Anderson and Beth Dukes, I had the two of y'all on there and be like, all right, let's rap. You know, and I've done that before in you know, previous shows before, but just to sit there, because look, at that point, you two got the floor. It is all yours. I'm asking questions, you just answer them and you just let it roll and just do something like that. That would be cool. I think if we can do something like that, that can also get it out there. I don't know. Like I said, I may be delirious. I may be, you know, grasping at straws. I don't know.
Well, you know, so for me, having started in 2020, what was I looking at that was contemporary that was going on at that time? It was WAL, and there was a lot of good female matches there. So that's what I was looking at, and as my like, oh, that's what I want to be like. These are people that are currently arm wrestling idols for me. And I think when you have big cards and big events for women like that, that can do the same thing for current up and comers, people that maybe just consider themselves fans or on the fence or have just been at practices that are like, wow, look at that. That's so cool. I would love to be a part of that someday. You know, I'm going to do my local tournament. That's so awesome. And I think it can be inspirational for other women, as well as fun to watch no matter who you are.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially like people that don't know about arm wrestling. That'll give you two people to focus on instead of, you know, 150 people to try and figure out names and who they are and where they come from.
And like Jocelyn said there too, you know, and like you just said, with two people to focus on, it also creates a fan base.
You're right, absolutely. People
I'll tell you what.
Like, where did this come from? And the best way I describe it, I tell people, I'm like, it's like Fight Club. You don't know anything about arm wrestling until you know one person that does it, and then this whole underground like world that is exploding right now. And so I think that'd be amazing.
Well, every November, like the first, second weekend of November in Utah, Bob Brown has his tournament, the Brazilian Cup. And if you've been there before, you know the ladies' class is stacked.
It's marvelous.
Yeah, you've been there before, right? Y'all been there before, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I can't say good enough things about the Brazilian Cup.
You talk about the Jolie Andersons, the you know, Sarah LaFons, the Leanne Wilson's been there, Gabrielle Vasconcelos has been there on a few occasions, you know. And I'm telling you right there, I mean, Sarah Ray's been there, Liz has been there. So I'm telling you right, I mean, you know, Katie Hankey. So the names I mentioned, they've been there before. And he has that every single year. So he throws it out there. It's like, okay, ladies, this is your chance to go out there and make something happen and end the calendar year on a good note, by the way. But I'm telling you, that's also from a tournament standpoint. But from a super match standpoint, I'm gonna have to get a hold of some of my contacts and be like, hey, what can we do? Can we do this? You know, that kind of thing. Just see. Hell, I might even say, hey, there's a tournament that they have up north, and be like, hey, how about you make Friday night just nothing but the ladies super matches, and then we can roll the tournament the next day, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's always good to do that. There's nothing wrong with promoting yourself because, you know, not everybody has a sponsor, so to speak. So you got to do what you can. If that means Aussie has to give y'all a platform, so be it. If that means they got to have you on my show and do all that kind of stuff, so be it. Whatever it takes to get that, you know, your name out there and give y'all a platform and just say, hey, here's a question, ball's in your court, go ahead and roll with it. Then so be it, you know? So
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a good time for it too, because, and Beth, Danielle, I don't know how you both feel about it, but I feel since I've started that we have seen an uptick in ladies that are interested in arm wrestling. I feel like we're seeing more.
Yep, I agree with that.
I do too.
Well, I mean, just in general, because I thought there's a couple big booms that happened in arm wrestling that kind of gave us more people. I guess we can all, you know, Game of Arms was probably before YouTube, but Beth, you remember Game of Arms? It kind of gave us a shot in the arm that we needed, and everybody came out, you know, and I was like, what, 2013, whatever. And then, you know, the pandemic hit us hard to where we couldn't travel. So we're kind of stuck at home.
Right.
So it's kind of what we all do. Well, we got YouTube. We can watch arm wrestling and go, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when we got the green light to go travel again, that gave us another shot in the other arm, and now it just came out this big thing right here. So now it's kind of like, okay, cool. It's almost like, what can we do? We've had tournaments where the ladies pull for free. We've had the round robins, and it's always just, okay, we're getting in the right direction, but what is it going to take to kind of get us over that hump? I'm thinking, my brain goes, like I said, a little cycle sometimes, but I'm thinking, would that be a good idea, to have, hey, let's have this. And it can be pay-per-view, live feed, whatever the case may be, but to give y'all a platform to go, okay, this is pretty good because like y'all said, hey, I like watching women's matches. And I know a lot of people out there will do the same thing. It's just it hasn't come out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the guys can do it and I love it, how come the girls can't do it either? That's just where I'm coming from, man.
I love your idea.
Yeah,
I've had. Go ahead, Shauna.
I was gonna say, I think we're heading in the right direction because if we look at it, who doesn't like recognition? I mean, we all like to be praised, right? We all like positive things. And if you look at ladies arm wrestling, several years ago, I feel, and Beth, maybe you know this better, we're ladies more of an afterthought then. We didn't really focus on them too much. And now you start talking about these super bash cards, you start talking about these round robins. Yeah, and now you're getting women excited to be praised, to be looked at. Well, of course, if you get me excited, you're like, hey, you know what? I like you. You want to come here? Yeah, absolutely I do. Let's go. So I think you're seeing some of that.
And I think definitely the women of the sport has boomed. When I first started, it was the same. Honestly, it was probably the same 10 women everywhere you went. And it was 5 from the Southeast and 3 from Montana. And it was, my weight class, no matter where I competed, I had the same 5 women. And I was 230 pounds. And it was me, Nicole Sisko, Renee Bean, Mary McConaughey, Cindy Looney. And that was like the core 5 that were always at Casey Martin.
Old school. Yes, legends.
School, yeah. And we could have pulled in Florida or we could have pulled in California. And it was the same 5 women. And now we can go to tournaments and it's a different hand every time you go. And so I think in that sense, it has gotten a little bit bigger. But I think anything promoting the women and getting things out there is amazing. But yeah, I think some kind of super match and all these round robins, I think it's wonderful for Cleve's.
Well, I know when I first got into it, there was that one woman in your region that you knew about.
Yeah.
If it was the South, it was Beth.
Yeah.
If it's the Northeast, it was like Cindy Louie. If it was in the Plains area, there was like, like you said, there was, Margie Chacho. She was another one,
Margie, Mary McConaughey.
If I'm out west, it was Kelly Nelson, right? Out west, Kelly Nelson. So you knew there was always some dominant woman in that region. So it's kind of like, okay, well, cool. Let's go ahead and do this. So how can we bring it back and come full circle?
Yeah.
We got to start somewhere. But like I said, maybe it's a few people got to reach out to pros, go, hey, I have an idea. What do you think? And just kind of see where it goes. You could throw some on the wall, see what sticks and see what comes out of it. But
I have an idea, but it's gonna sound selfish, but I don't.
Go ahead, roll with it
that way. I had an idea. Now I do not have children, but I do think some women hold back from tournaments because if your husband or your boyfriend is pulling and you have kids, that's a tough day, So I had a thought that maybe and again, it's going to sound self-serving, but this doesn't actually affect me because I don't have kids myself. But so typically your standard tournament's going to go, there's going to be kids, super matches, and then sometimes amateurs, women's and pro. If that could shift to where you had like super matches, kids, women's, and then men. The reason I say that is because that gives an opportunity for if a woman wants to pull and she's bringing the kids along, the kids can pull, she can pull. It's usually a smaller class. It's usually going to get over with pretty quickly. They can go home. Dad can stay all night and pull. Absolutely. It's a thought that I had that might help.
So not to keep plugging our tournament, but that's exactly whenever we throw the tournament in June. We're actually starting it at like 9 a.m. just because of how many competitors show up and how long round robin days are. But yeah, we do the teens classes and the grandmasters classes, masters, grandmasters. And then we try and do the kids in the middle of the day. and then the women right after, and then have the round robin tournament the rest of the afternoon.
Nice.
So definitely, as a mom and a competitor, that definitely helps. I have the opportunity to cheer for my kids and then let them run wild, crazy while I compete.
So here's a question, and I'd like to get y'all's opinion on that. I think promoters ruin female arm wrestling by limiting weight classes. Do y'all have an opinion about that? What do y'all think about that?
It's one of those, one of those things that can go around in a circle, and both people are right. So yes, weight classes are difficult because women are a lot more shapes and sizes that get represented in the weight classes. But the reason there's not many weight classes is because not many women show up. So then it's like, yes, you're right, the weight classes don't serve us, but then not many women show up. So I think we're both actually talking about kind of the same problem, just with getting more females to come to events. But then we do want to make sure that this is something that promoters are thinking of and are ready to respond to. I sort of like at the Brazilian Cup is a perfect example. Bob Brown was like, you know what? We're going to set the weight classes on the day. We're going to see if 20 women show up, we're going to weigh them all in, and then we're going to see what actually makes sense. What do you all actually like? What represents you guys that creates 3 classes that actually make sense here? And that's not a permanent solution, but it's a really good solution while things are growing.
Absolutely.
To make great matches.
And honestly, I think that's one of the best ways to do it. I mean, you can say all day long that you're going to show up or that you're going to be at a tournament, but like we've already said, life happens. So if you're expecting 30 people to show up and 12 show up, it's for the promoter, for the person putting on the tournament, you've divvied up all this prize money or awards or what have you, and then you're out of, it's out of your pocket because a quarter of the class showed up. So I think that is, waiting till the day of, see how many entries you actually have. I think that that's probably one of the best ways to do it. Is it always fair? Absolutely not. But that's what you have to do when it comes to the women's classes. Coming into this again, this later part of my life, we didn't have weight classes. The only tournament that had weight classes was nationals. So I would show up, and Tanya Todd at the time was 120 pounds, and she had to arm wrestle me, and I was 230 pounds. And is it fair? No, but she was willing to arm wrestle anybody, and so was I. And so that's just, you showed up and pulled whoever was available for the day.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
Well, Shauna, what's your opinion about that?
It's really the same as Danielle's, and I know that. So it's a vicious circle no matter which way you go, because I know there's a promoter out there right now, and I think it was Sean Hancock that was talking about putting in a whole bunch of weight classes for women, but he was stern about it and said, I'll do this, but you have to show up, because if you don't, what are we doing? We're just combining the weight classes now. You're just going back to what you started. Right. So again, what's the answer for it? Is it day of? And like Beth said, what's fair at this point? Do I could totally see it even at, Danielle's point, at 154 pounds. Is it fair that she has to arm wrestle me at 215? I mean, that's a big difference.
Promoters too then have to think, if I'm going to have all these women's weight classes, that also means I need to have trophies or medals or potential, for already made. And then if people don't show up and I got to throw these 2 away or something like that, that kind of stinks too. So,
My only argument to what Shauna just said was that if it's a weight thing, because even Beth said, well, if I'm 230 and Tanya Todd's 120, is that fair? Yes and no. No, it's not fair on the surface, but go ask Leanne Wilson how many times she's beaten somebody twice her size. Mm-hmm. Go ask that same person. Right. You go ask Leanne Wilson how many times I've seen her pull the amateur guys class and finish top 3 with a class of 12 people. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So if you want to pull, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can move up, right? Like, do it. I mean, anybody can. And I think
at the end of the day, like, being a part of the solution is the way to go. Like just go pull, and maybe you'll pull in a class that's not for you, or maybe whatever. But change will never happen if you stay home.
Jocelyn makes a good point there, and I thought about that too. I mean, that could be a solution.
Sure.
Oh, that's easy. You want to know what I do in my tournaments? So I do one tournament a year, right? It's on June 21st this year, and it's the LOD Foundation tournament. So what I do, we get the same medals. We don't put a year on the medal. We just change the ribbon. That way,
Okay.
if we have to reuse them, we can still reuse them.
Sure.
It's just you have a different ribbon. So each year I get a different set of ribbons every single year. That'll have the year on it and all that kind of stuff. But when I first got into it, the actual date and month, whatever, was on the medal. Yep. And you're kind of like, okay, so for example, if I'm Bill Collins and I'm throwing this tournament and, I get like, 2 people in the class, now I got a 3rd place medal. I have to just give it away now because it has the date on there and the month. And like, what do I do with it? I can't keep it because I can't reuse that. So I think now a lot of promoters are starting saying, you know what? We got the mock draft of the medal. We'll start using that. And then, like those gorillas, y'all get at Michigan State, the Dragons at Winter Blast, the Bisons up at Ottawa Open. Keep the same mold. It's just now the label's different. That's all you got to do.
Right.
I think that saves a lot of money now because I know from a promoter standpoint, that was one of the biggest headaches ever. Like, oh, okay, now I'm stuck with all these trophies and I can't get rid of them now. Well, now I think it's easier with the ribbons, I think. That's just me. But some people like the trophies and statues and stuff, which I get.
Sure.
But I think, with the medals and different stuff like that, it can make things a little different. I don't know,
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but
I also think too, like where you are in your arm. Oh, sorry, Beth.
Right.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I do think too, like sometimes, and I don't mean to speak for others. I could be totally off base with somebody else, but I think where you are in your arm wrestling journey too kind of changes how you feel about trophies and medals. Too, like, man, when my first year of arm wrestling, getting that freaking medal or something was like, oh my god, but now it's more about the experience that I get, the intensity of a match, how awesome were the matches I got to have, like that's what I walk away with of like, oh, that was awesome, and that's just part of growth in anything.
Oh, cool.
Okay, but let's be real. There are just like every trophy Jody mentioned, there are some iconic ones out there. We all want them.
Like this one right here?
Amen.
That's
The
awesome.
dragon.
Oh, yeah. So like I said, and honestly, let's be honest. I mean, because Beth said cash. Cool, no big deal.
Cool.
We love to win cash. That's just a cherry on top for me. However, if I can get a statue,
Yes.
right, from Michigan State, rest assured.
Yeah.
If I get a statue from the Ottawa Open, that Big Bison, or I think Florida got gators, don't they? They got these gator statues down in Florida. Yes.
If you
There's
think this
some
doesn't make me happy, you're damn wrong.
Look, oh yeah. Look at that.
You can see mine in the background, right about there.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you see that? So, that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you right now, when you have those kind of trophies, those like speak volume because it's like going, damn, I want one of those.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, it was Mississippi. They got them big bulldogs, the one that Sean Hancock throws.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I mean, when you get something like that, it's like, man, damn, So
Collection.
yes.
Yes.
So when you sit there and do that, you kind of go, oh, okay, medals are awesome. There's some unique medals, there's some unique awards, but them statues. And I'm telling you, I got 2 of these damn dragons, and I'm telling you right now, I had to go buy another bag for it because I
Call you the call.
I went in one bag and I was like, well, how am I gonna get this on the plane? Like, damn. So I had to go like to Walmart, get a different bag. I had to I went back to my hotel room and I wrapped it in a bunch of t-shirts and towels from the hotel room just to make sure they wouldn't clash because there's been stories that with these dragons over here that hey, I can't take on the plane. Can you ship them to me? They came in, FedEx, whatever, they came in pieces.
That's so sad.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wing it. I'm just gonna get an extra bag and put it up above the, airplane space. And luckily I made it home, safe and sound with no cracks or anything. So,
Jody,
I
can sympathize with you.
Yeah, I stole towels. Hey, you know what? It's a souvenir. And I say that because I still got my hotel key card from when I went to the Arnold Classic in 2019. souvenir, right? There you go.
Right.
So, but yeah, money's good. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I mean, y'all can attest to that because
everybody loves money. Like,
yeah, everybody
right?
loves that, you know. 'Cause for some that work weekends, it's like, okay, if I'm taking this time off, I better damn well win this to cover me being not at work and stuff like that. So I get that, but hopefully, some way, somehow, we can. I know Arm Sports Entertainment was watching the show, so maybe, you know, he could probably sit there and kind of go, what can I do? Maybe another promoter's watching. Maybe the ladies here or people in the chat can say, hey, or even Chuck, hey, you know what? What can we do? Let's have a all women's, you know, Supermatch card only, and just, you know, we'll have some kind of catchy name to it or something like that, and just, you know, do it like that.
Yeah, that's a great
What do
idea.
y'all think? Yes.
Yeah.
Love that idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, cool.
I don't think any women would turn that down.
Yeah, see?
Also, what
Yeah.
cooler way to send to your friends that you're trying to get into the sport and be like, hey, check this out. Like, look what's
Absolutely.
happening. How awesome is this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, honestly, if that were to pop off and then that winds up on YouTube and how many views that will get, I think that right there might be the ticket for the ladies to say, hey, I'm watch that over and over again. Now I'm looking them up on Instagram, looking them up on Facebook. Now you're getting friend requests and you're getting more Instagram followers and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, that might be it.
And look who's watching now, Brian Shaw. You know, before, I know, unfortunately, it looks like Sarah has a bit of an injury, so maybe at the Shaw Classic, there was going to be Gabby and Sarah. I don't know if that's happening yet or not with what Sarah has going on. I don't know. Right. But like what that shows you though is that we have a whole other set of eyes and fans of another sport that are now. He's looking at female arm wrestlers too. That's amazing. So.
You know, all right. Texas State, by the way, pays $500 to the winner of the right and left hand classes. So, ladies, there we go. So I think it's out there, but I think it just needs to be more broadcast, I guess. You know, and like I said, I try to sit there and, you know, hey, check out this tournament coming up, or, you know, put some shine on it, that kind of stuff. You know, but hopefully, you know, this will, you know, get out. Well, yes, ladies. It's been a joy. We've been on here for 1 hour and 17 minutes. Nice. And I'm telling you, I enjoyed every single second of this. Anything else y'all want to say before we put a bow tie on this?
I just say thank you, Jody. This has been amazing. Appreciate the opportunity to have a pedestal and talk about the weekend and what we got coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Agreed. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to get you ladies on here and y'all can share some of your experiences and stuff about what happened over the weekend and thinking, okay, I had a good match. I want to do this match over to see if there was a match that you want to see you and that person one-on-one with or somebody else, that kind of, just to kind of get the juices flowing and stuff. So again, ladies, as always, thank you very much. And don't worry, I'll have you on the show again down the road. Don't you worry.
Smash like everybody. Jody deserves it.
That's right.
Everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your. What's today? Monday?
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.